Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for the match tomorrow, Arsenal facing Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. A game that, as always, of course, I'm really looking forward to it. Wolves have been nothing but a fantastic addition to the Premier League. They've been a really, to use the generic term, breath of fresh air. They've played some really good football this season, expansive, exciting stuff. And they've just really continued the great work that they were doing in the Championship last season. They've been really good to watch, really entertaining. And I'm really looking forward to this game tomorrow. Not just because I look forward to every Arsenal game, but because I think it will be a really good fixture. Two teams that want to play open, expansive, exciting football coming up against one another. A game that should be great for the neutrals. And as an Arsenal fan, I think it's going to be tough. I don't think it's going to be the easy game that people are assuming it will be. Wolves are a side that score goals. They've got some very good goals scored this season. They picked up some very good results. At the minute, I think we're playing them at quite a good time. I mean, I think there's no real great time to play any team in the Premier League, but if I'm looking at their recent results, they were unfortunate not to get something in the game last weekend against Tottenham. Of course, they went 3-0 down, clawed it back to 3-2 and had a goal disallowed. So we're unfortunate not to come away in that game with a point at least. But in every game they've played this season, they pretty much played expressive and exciting football. And they're certainly not afraid to sit back and attack, should I say. They're not a team that want to sit back and allow to soak up pressure. So I think they're going to be a really welcome addition to the Emirates Stadium. That being said, I think if they play that style, it's going to work to our favour. If I'm looking at the players that we've got that have the potential to get in behind Aubameyang, Iwobi, Lacazette, these kind of players will have a good opportunity in this game to score goals, and it should be a very open fixture. If I'm looking at how Wolves lined up last week against Tottenham, they seem to play with three at the back, and if they play like that in this game, I know we're not a team that are particularly renowned for our width at the minute, but given how we played against Liverpool last weekend, even though we don't have versatile wingers as such, if we get someone like Kolasinac, Bellerin, Iwobi, these kind of players in wide areas, they are extremely dangerous. Iwobi in particular when he came on against Liverpool, and even though he was at the end of a lot of criticism in the game against Sporting in midweek, got to be realistic, he did create our two best chances in the game, the one for Aubameyang and the one for Mkhitaryan. On another day, those go in the back of the net and Iwobi gets 2 assists, and we're talking about a different performance from him. So I think he earns a start in this game. Regarding the rest of the Arsenal team, I don't think it's a tough decision to make. I'm really hoping we improve from the game against Sporting, and we should do, considering it will be an almost entirely different 11. Leno stays in goal. Did have that blunder against Liverpool last week, but as I said previously, he is going to have these blips. It is a bedding in process with him, and let's not forget he is 26 years old, which for a footballer isn't necessarily young, but for a goalkeeper, he's still not, making his way in the world of football, but he is still learning things, especially coming from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, a very contrasting league. And I mean, he does offer so much with his feet as well. His play out from the back is sensational. So let's keep him going. Let's keep our faith in Leno and him. Hopefully he'll improve with his hands and be just as good as he is with his feet. At right back, Bellerin. Can't wait to see him back in the team after what was a rather stodgy performance from Lichtsteiner. I think that's the best way to describe it. Of course, he's gone off with a hamstring injury in that game against Sporting, but you really do notice the lack of pace we've got on that right-hand side when Lichtsteiner plays ahead of Hector Bellerin. The middle two, I'd be going Mustafi and Holding, following on from last weekend. Holding, of course, played against Sporting. I think he did look a bit tired, but alongside Mustafi, those two have been performing really well recently and performed exceptionally well against Liverpool last weekend. So those would be the two for me. At left back, Kolasinac keeps his place. I know that we're sort of ever so slowly introducing Monreal back into the side, given his age, given the injury he's got. The club don't want to risk that occurring again. Midfield two, of course, of Xhaka and Torreira. It's been brilliant for us this season. Why would you change that up? And then the three playing behind Lacazette. This is the tough one to make for me. I would continue with Iwobi in the team. I know he didn't start against Liverpool. I know he started against Sporting. But the only real other option we've got there in a minute is to start Mkhitaryan. And I'm just not convinced by him at the moment. I still think he's quality, and I still think that technically he's a very good footballer. But he's a confidence player, and he's got no confidence at the minute whatsoever. It was very underwhelming against Sporting. I don't think he was necessarily really poor, but there were just moments in the game where he just made the wrong decisions. He should have scored in that match. If he scores in that game, then maybe we're talking about him starting in the match on Sunday. But as I say, he's a confidence player. He just is lacking in that area of his game at the minute. So I'd start Iwobi, who's playing really good football this season. Whatever you think of him against Sporting, as I say, created 2 chances and looks really good when he's got players like Lacazette, Aubameyang, etc. around him from the start of games. So Iwobi would be my one to start alongside Mesut Ozil and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It's a shame we haven't got Danny Welbeck, because I think he'd be a good addition to play in this game, but I don't want to dwell on that too much. We all know that we've probably lost him for the season, and hopefully that game against Sporting isn't the last game that he'll play in an Arsenal shirt. I do hope that the club renew his deal, depending on the severity of the injury, of course, but I really do wish that he gets better soon, because I don't want to say it's a blow to our top 4 hopes, but let's not forget Danny Welbeck has scored a lot of goals for us this season. He is incredibly impactful coming off the bench, especially when teams are tiring, because he's so muscular, so full of pace and power. When he comes at teams in the 70th, 80th minute, he really is a good weapon to have. And in fact, we've lost him now. We've got to put pressure on someone like Nketiah, who's not really proven himself at Arsenal just yet, apart from those 2 goals against Norwich. I mean, it's hell of an ask. So it's a big loss, Danny Welbeck. And now it puts more pressure on someone like Mkhitaryan, who's underperforming. So I do think the club have to look to invest in January. We're going to miss his goals this season. I think that's a given. So even more pressure on Aubameyang and Lacazette to perform now. But hopefully those 2 from the start will see this game off relatively swiftly. I want to see a more stern and more dominant performance from Arsenal in the first half. I want to get this game kind of wrapped up by half time, which would be, it's a big ask given that we're not really showing up to the first half of games at the minute. But if we can get a couple of goals and we can win this game convincingly, that'd be great heading into the international break. We are going through a bit of a, not really a rough patch as such. The game against Liverpool, we played brilliantly. The game against Sporting, of course, was underwhelming. The win against Blackpool was very scrappy. And then, of course, the draw against Palace was rather unconvincing. So let's get a good win. Let's start another winning run going before we head into that game against Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time. I want us to win all of our games heading into that fixture, because that's a game where I think we'll need a big confidence boost. And it's a game that I believe Arsenal can win if we do get the job right in terms of the preparation and winning the games that we should do before that one, just to give us, as I say, a bit of a spurn of confidence. But anyway, guys, those have been my thoughts heading into the game tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Please do drop a like on the video and let me know your team lineups and your thoughts going into the game in the comments box below. Subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'll speak to you very soon. See you later, guys.